program is rated MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Show that gives you everything and nothing at all. That's everywhere you don't want to be. It's Ruben, Mo B, and on the ones and twos, AG.
The 5-minute warning.
Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of 5-Minute Warning. Of course, it's your man, the guy who can't get words right today. Your boy Ruben's in the house, and of course, always is my cousin AG.
What's happening, y'all? How you doing?
Ah, man, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, man, because it needs to be said. F snow. Done. I'm done. I had to get it off my chest. Those of you who've been following us for the last 5 years understands how much Ruben hates snow. And it's almost gone. And I can't wait. And it's supposed to be 50 plus the next week and a half. No rain. No snow. Just let's not give sorry drivers another reason not to be able to drive good. Just okay. That's all I'm gonna say on the snow, because if I don't, we're here for 30 minutes about how much I hate snow. But all I'm gonna say is F the snow. I'm glad we're gone. Let's move on. All right.
Feel better?
Yes. Oh, you have no idea.
Okay.
I've been holding that in for like 3 days.
Understood.
I mean, yeah, I went out in it though, but just because it's called work and stuff like that. Because Lord knows, nothing else stops except a city. But we still got to go to work. So,
well, some people did.
Yeah, including me. And I didn't mind driving out there. It was a lot less people. It was awesome. But, I just having snow, coming down in your face probably wasn't a good way of driving. But, hey, we take what we get, and it's over now. It's over now. Don't make me start singing up in this piece. So, other than that, man, how was your week, AG?
It's pretty good. I happened to be off while it was snowing, so I didn't really benefit. But my wonderful wife didn't have to deal with them snot-nosed ass kids.
Damn, why they gotta be snot-nosed ass kids?
Because they are, bro. This batch of kids she's got this year suck ass. They're killing her. And if I see one in the street, I'm gonna punch them in the damn face.
Wow, child abuse.
See, she can get reprimanded. They don't know me.
You don't know them either.
Oh, I can get pictures. Punk ass kids with punk ass parents. So I was really glad for her. She basically had the week off because she had President's Day off on Monday. Went in Tuesday to deal with them miscreants. And then she was off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then into the weekend. So she's had a pretty nice day off, a week off. So,
man, what the hell is President's Day?
Well, it's a day in which we celebrate, the slave owners. And we
don't celebrate them the other 364 days.
Well, they have a special day. They were the head slave owners in charge.
Can't that shit be in like April though? Why I gotta be in the middle of Black History Month?
Well, I think it was Get Back, and I think President's Day was they started that before MLK Day, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, MLK Day is in January.
Well, what's wrong?
Black History Month is in February.
I realized that, but I'm like, that's what I meant to say. I meant to say I think President's Day had come before Black History Month. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that 12 months, man.
I mean, I tell you,
found another damn day.
Look, you know how mad white folks was when Obama was president, and then had to deal with it twice. This is get back, bro. That's what this is. I mean, they didn't realize Obama was coming, but I'm just saying this is one of them things where if the coons got something, then we gotta have something too.
And they gave us the smallest month. I mean, but
well, actually, you know what? That's not. You know, we have to come correct.
Okay.
The guy that wanted petition for Black History Month was really just wanted a week. He just wanted 7 days.
Oh.
So we ended up with 28. I'm not mad at the other 21 days he got. I'm not mad at that. So, you know, but see, we're actually it's not a federal thing anymore. So, you know, you have to celebrate it on your own. But the irony was President Trump had his own little day for the Black people. Wait a minute, how you gonna come out of your mouth crazy and then turn around? Are you for real? I kind of got a chuckle out of it.
You know what made me sad though?
What made you sad?
What made me sad is when I heard Tiger Woods was there. Come on, bro.
I was disappointed also.
Look,
but did we really surprised though? Were we really surprised?
I don't know, man.
Come on, man. You weren't surprised.
I mean, I guess with Snoop switching, everybody's up for grabs.
No. Snoop is a different conversation because, like you said, he switched. Tiger was never on our side to start with.
Well, first of all, I never knew that. So
you never knew what?
I never knew Tiger wasn't.
Man, the first time Black people got upset with him when he said he was that long, like Oprah said, "Are you Black? Do you consider yourself Black?" And Tiger had this really long word for what he was, but he was not Black. He does not claim us, man.
See, and that's Oprah's fault.
Why is it Oprah's fault?
Why are you gonna ask?
Wanted to know, so did we.
Why are you gonna ask the Black dude right there if he's Black?
Because everybody wanted to know. Stop tripping. No, this is not pearl clutching Oprah. Bro. This is when Oprah was doing some real legit journalism. Man. Everybody wanted to know because everybody wanted to claim him because he out here winning the Masters.
First of all, the fact that you just sat here and said Oprah did some real journalism, I can't even get down with that shit.
What?
What real journalism has Oprah ever done?
Actually, when she was younger, she did a lot of good stuff.
When she had the Oprah Winfrey Show, what journalism has she ever done?
Well, first of all, it's a daytime show. But to say that she's not, but to say she's not good at her show or good at her job is ridiculous. Oprah's very good at her job.
Look, man, I'm not saying she's not good at her show. I'm just saying we not gonna sit here and call her a journalist.
She used to do the news in Chicago, man.
Bruh, I'm talking about her show.
Bruh. Only thing I'm telling you is she used to do real journalism. That's all I'm saying. Now it's just like, you know.
She used to do real journalism when she was a journalist. But on the Oprah Winfrey Show, she was not a journalist.
Man, do I let you be you? Do I let you be you?
I'm not letting her be her. I don't like her.
Oh my God. Okay, Ruby, you're right. She never did any journalism. But in that moment, she did. Because everybody wanted to know. Because we all wanted to claim him as Black because he did so much in golf. And it's just like he kicked us to the curb. So when Lauren told me this the other day, I was like, damn. But then I wasn't surprised. He ain't Black. You don't claim us, man.
But here's the thing, right?
Calvin Peete is a Black golfer. Tiger Woods is not.
But the PGA said he Black.
Hey, yeah, we do too. Because he
do this,
bro. He's sitting in the back of the bus with us.
Do that.
Okay,
but that's all I'm saying. Like,
he don't claim us. He don't claim us. And he live in a foreign country. He live in Florida
now.
He always lived in Florida.
Nah, I used to live in California.
Well, he spends a lot of time.
Well,
based on the last 10 years, he's had a nice place in Florida for a minute.
Well, I mean, I understand, you know.
And he spends all of his time there. Huh?
I mean, they don't pay taxes and shit.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but bro, I mean, Tiger look, man, the bottom line is this. Tiger ain't trying to fuck with nobody that's Black.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I'm just saying, I think it's a real foul question when we looking at a Black man and gonna sit there and ask them, "Hey, are you Black?" And it's just like, I mean,
why is that foul?
Well, because my dumb smart ass would have gave her a smart ass comment too. I mean, bitch, what I look like? I'm darker than you.
Oprah would have never. This is the thing, man. No, Oprah would have never asked you that question. Not one time in your whole life, she would have never asked you that question because she already knew. Tiger was one of those dudes that really gave off this vibe. That's why we were all like, "Is he black?" I mean,
and I'm not going to disagree with that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, bruh, we really going on your talk show, and you about to ask the black dude if he black. Like,
hey,
I mean, and I
inquiring
understand.
minds wanted to know. Don't even trip, because I wanted to know too.
Man, whatever. Man. Like, all I'm saying is,
okay,
that we have the tendency to shoot ourselves in the foot. I'm just saying, like, now if it was some white dude that asked if he was black or some white woman, like, you know, I'm still gonna get offended because what the fuck are you doing? Like, I just feel like we have the tendency as black people to shoot ourselves in the foot. Because let's be real, if we don't get real with this shit, I mean, Oprah just realized she was black like what 12 years ago. Like, so I mean, what we not gonna do is sit here and prop Oprah up to being the black messiah, female messiah, when she won't exactly like that at the beginning of her success. And that's all that's how I feel about it. I could be completely wrong, but that's how I took it. I mean, when you got all these guests on your show and all that, hey man, how many black people stood on her nice chair and stomped on it? Like what you call him was on, like, fuck your couch, nigga, fuck your couch. Like, only Tom Cruise did that dumb shit, and she ain't said nothing to that. Like, all I'm saying is, Oprah ain't exactly the blackest person on TV, and that's it. So for her to sit there and question someone else about their ethnicity, I'm kind of just like, pot kettle.
Okay.
I mean, you know, and I know we disagree, and I'm fine with that. But I felt like I had to express my point about how I feel about Oprah, because, you know, I'm not gonna say she ain't never been down with the brown. I will sit here and say she really won't down with the brown until Obama came around.
Okay.
So, well, good. How you doing, Black Patricia Adams?
What's up?
I mean, so yeah. I mean, but no, I feel you though. Like, I mean, he was on the Dave Chappelle skit, the race draft. I mean, you know.
Look, man. I mean,
he's already wanted to say it.
For what it's worth, I was disappointed, but I wasn't shocked. I would never invite him to NAACP anything. I wouldn't. I mean, if I was the head of that organization, he wouldn't be the last person I'd ask. He would be the never person I'd ask. He's not black. I mean, based on what he said about himself, he wants to be what he wants to be. And I mean,
well, shout out to the PGA Tour, because to them, his ass black.
Right, but that's acceptable to him.
Well, but all I'm saying is, like, at least what they have done with all the awards and all the firsts he's done, they are quick to the point to say he's the first black African American to do this and to do that. Now, if he doesn't consider himself all that, that's kind of a him problem, and he's gonna have to live with that. At least the PGA Tour acknowledges the fact the dude's black, and that's all we can really ask.
I think you should use a different word other than acknowledge.
I mean,
they telling him, "Negro, you black."
I mean, and you know what? And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I'm saying, hey, we can throw salt to the game, but at least the PGA Tour or PGA at least is as honest as can be.
Use another look, man. The PGA Tour is not acknowledgement. It's not honesty. It's we keeping it 100. We keeping it a buck. You black.
At least they're doing that.
You
Because
black.
they had
That's
you.
not an Elise thing. That's the only thing that they could do within reason and not get raked over the coals talking about you racist, which we already knew.
I mean,
They letting him know you look, man. I guarantee you there is not one PGA player that can cheat on his wife and get publicly lynched by the president of a golf club. Not one.
No. I mean,
you know why?
they all
Because
have.
Tiger Woods got a seat at the back of the room where the table is, and this Negro out here boning white women and ain't his wife.
See, the problem is he got caught.
Even so, it doesn't matter. It matters on how they treated him after the fact. Now, don't get me wrong. When he cheated on his wife, I was like, come on, bro. But then to have him tarred, feathered, and quartered publicly like he did, like, I mean, I don't know, what are we doing?
I mean, but he also went through what Kobe Bryant went through. Because Kobe Bryant cheated with the crazy chick. Kobe Bryant was done for about 2 years, and then next thing you know, Sprite calling. We good. And everybody good with Kobe now. Because there was like 2 or 3 years that everybody was like, that motherfucker's untouchable. We can't touch him. And then next thing you know, people selectively forgot that, you know, he got caught cheating with some crazy chick, you know, some crazy white girl who worked at a hotel. And I say crazy white girl because, you know, that's kind of what has been said about that person. But yeah, like, you know, and Tiger the same day, man. People forgot about the fact that Tiger was out here just, you know, slamming women. Nobody brings up that shit no more. I mean, he publicly divorced, and when they see Charlie's ass out there, nobody comes up. Oh yeah, you know, the proud son of Tiger Woods and his ex. And they don't say that shit. They don't bring that shit up. That's all I'm saying. It's like, at least those two have found a way to come back from the stupidity that they have done, and their requisite sports have found a way to.
We agree to disagree twice in one show.
I mean, all I'm saying is, like, yo, I'm a Kobe Bryant dude, man. You know.
I don't agree with the way they treated Kobe either. I mean, the language you used about the lady was a little radioactive. The bottom line is, based on what he was in court for, it wasn't just cheating with him. It was a little more than that. But at the same time, I'm like, this dude is like going through a public lynching. I'm like, for real? But that's what we're doing.
I mean, Kobe did that too. He went through it.
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
both of them. It's like, man, I just feel like when you're a black athlete with any kind of weight, except Jordan, it's like when you get caught doing things, and I guess I could say Jordan too, because with the whole gambling thing, I'm like, are y'all for real right now?
Huh? The gambling thing ain't shit.
It was never that big a deal, but people made it a big deal.
You know, the biggest thing that fucked Jordan up for it now was coming out with that dumbass autobiography.
What autobiography was that?
The Last Dance. If he never come out with that shit, like, there'd be so many people praising how that dude is, man. Me, I knew he was a piece of shit, and that shit told me he was a piece of shit personally, and like, I felt vindicated after watching that shit. Because how
do you watch The Last Dance and come out with Jordan's a piece of shit?
Did you not watch The Last Dance?
Actually, I've watched it a few times.
Hey, you didn't come out with that? I
didn't come out with any brand new information.
Well, I mean, I knew he was a piece of shit before The Last Dance.
What is your definition of a piece of shit?
He's a shitty person. He's not a good person. Person. He's not a good person. You know, I'm not saying I'm the greatest person ever, but George's not a good person. A good person. Like, he wasn't a good person then, and that showed how much he was really not a good person. You know? And I mean, maybe now he's changed a little bit, but who knows? All I know was the dude sucks. At least he sucked back then. He
Okay,
might be.
what makes him not a good person besides the philandering? What makes him not a good person?
Well, he's kind of an asshole. Like, I mean, I get it. You feel like you need to push your people very hard to win and shit, but I mean, you ain't got to be a dick all the time, you know.
Okay.
I mean, Bill Cartwright, he stepped to Bill Cartwright. Bill Cartwright let him know, yeah, this ain't the motherfucking step to, because I will break both of your legs and beat you with them. And yeah, next thing you know, Bill Cartwright retired. I'm just after they won that I think it was a second championship. All I'm saying is, I mean, now Scotty, he's kind of becoming a piece of shit too. But like, I get it. If you hang around toxic enough, eventually you start absorbing that shit too. So like, look, man, everybody's like Jordan's the best player ever. Everybody's got their own opinions of that. And this is not what I'm talking about. But as a person, that guy's an ass.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so yeah, he picked on people. He was a bully. Like, and not just basketball people. He picked on the owners, man. Like, we can sit here and say they ain't pieces of shit, but like, you ain't need to make fun of them for being short and all this other bullshit, like a little bully in high school. Like, what is that about? Bitch, you supposed to be above all that. So, I mean, yeah, triggers. That's all I'm saying.
How does that trigger you?
I mean, I was picked on in high school.
I didn't realize you never talked about that.
Yeah, we never
We should
talk
talk about these things on the show.
No, we shouldn't talk about that shit on the show. But I mean, and maybe one day we will. But I'm just saying, like, I never like bullies, man. Bullies suck. Because bullies usually think they have all the power and they really have none. But they have just enough power to flex over you and you know, all that fear and shit. It's like, yeah, man. But yeah, Joe, I didn't know Joe was a bully like that, which made me hate him even more. So like, yeah, fuck Jordan. That's just how I feel about it. What, man?
First of all, I'm not laughing at you. I didn't know you were picked on as a child. I didn't know that.
It's okay.
As far as okay, and it's really interesting you say this. Now, there are some great athletes / coaches out there that I follow. Probably the biggest coach that I follow has to be Mike Krzyzewski.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, I only see the veneer, right? I only see him on the court. I see him in, you know, documentaries or whatever. I see him in different interviews, whatever. That's the part that he wants to show us, you know, publicly, day to day. You know, it's his brand. But I was reminded of how people that are great at something in a leadership position, how harsh they can be. And JJ Redick was going over his Duke career, and he was saying how harsh Mike Krzyzewski could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And it was kind of sobering because, like I said before, it's just like the brand Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, is not who he is. Now, well, he's a lot of different people, but as your coach at Duke, he can come off. He doesn't have to be the nicest person in the world. In fact, he's not. And so I'm like, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means that if you're not doing your job, or if you're slacking or whatever, you're going to hear about it. And it instantly reminded me of the Last Dance episode I had just watched 2 or 3 days prior. So I don't know anybody, including myself, that work hard at something and don't at least look at you and think, you're just not on my level. You're just not. Now, whether you say it to somebody or not, whether you're a bully or not, that's another conversation also. But I'm telling you, if you've ever been great at something or really wanted to be and worked at it, and then you look at somebody else and they're not doing the same job with as much intensity as you judge the shit out of them. I promise you do. And it's hard to control. So if you're in a leadership position where you don't have the control yourself, yeah, okay. I'm just saying, it just, there's sometimes you really have to give a perspective. I'm not saying that you don't have that you were wrong by saying Jordan's an asshole, because I understand where you're coming from. But based on what his teammates said, based on what he said about himself, based on the tears he cried because he doesn't like his own image, but that's what it took, and that's what it took for him. So it is what it is. But it is upsetting to me. I understood that. So no, I don't come off like you, but I understand you. But at the same time, I'm like, if you've ever tried to work hard at something and you had a teammate, it's almost like a kind of characterize it like a group project where you have one or two people that have a killer instinct about something. They really want to get it done and do it well. And then you have everybody else.
Yep.
And you're judging the shit out of them. I promise you, you are. Yep. You're just, whether you say anything or not doesn't matter. But what matters is everything that he said out loud, out of his mouth, is exactly what you're thinking. It's like, that's some bullshit. But the only difference is he's going to let you know about it because, like you said, he had enough power to be able to do that. So that's what he did. I mean, no one likes him. A lot of people feel like you. Nobody likes that guy, but they won 6 rings, and that's all that really fucking mattered to him.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's not even true either, because if that was all that mattered, he would have never gotten emotional about what everybody was saying about him. So to me, I'm like, well, that's the cost of being who you are. If you want to change it, you can. If you don't want to change it, that's fine too. But understand, people fucking hate you, man. But no one wanted to get traded because they was about that ring. So,
So I'll say this. Like, being in leadership positions and stuff like that is hard. And people handle it differently. I know, being in leadership position, it's I like to focus more on the team. I try not to focus on the 1 or 2 individual parts until those parts become an issue. Because my thing is, look, we all for one for all. We the damn Musketeers, yo. We doing this shit. We all win, we all lose. There's no, well, I dropped 50 points. You still took an L, motherfucker. Like, it doesn't matter how many points you dropped, you still took an L. And so my thing was like, it wasn't. There are some people who, like Bobby Knight, very good example. Bobby Knight, like, yo, man, I didn't have a problem all the time with the way he was aggressive with his players. Now, I also am in full belief that you shouldn't be choking motherfuckers out. Like, that's just not what you do. However, I will say that, and I will probably be on the wrong side of history on this. I do believe, like, that kid did not deserve to get choked. Straight up. He did not. But I'm also not dumb enough to sit here and be like, he didn't provoke that shit. Like, because you don't just one day up and choke a motherfucker. Like, you don't just see somebody on the street and just go start choking them. That shit don't happen. Like, I think it sucks he got choked, but I am also the dude who's like, I mean, you had somebody up in the rafters videotaping the day, like, he had one of his boys videotaping the day he got choked. And it's like, come on, man. Like, what did you do to get to that point? And I'm not saying Bobby Knight was right. I'm not. But what I am saying is there are 2 sides to the story, and it's not just those 15 seconds. So, like, what's the lead up? Has that kid been the asshole for like 2 weeks to get his blood pressure up to enough? I mean, the man threw chairs, man, in the middle of a game on the damn basketball court. He ain't never touched nobody on the court during games and shit. And now you went from him throwing a chair on the floor to to physically assaulting someone in practice. I mean, to me, like this is what Mo B would say. What did he do to deserve that? Not saying it's right, but what did he do to deserve that? And so, yeah, man, I'm a big Bobby Knight fan. I don't agree with his tactics all the way, but like the guy was passionate. You know, the guy was a winner. And I mean, all his former players that were something, your Isaiah Thomases and all those cats, they love Bobby Knight because he pushed them. And there's a way to push without being a dick or without being physical, you know? And so there's always multiple sides to every story. And that's what I'll say to that. And unfortunately, we only really got one side because that's what the video said. He couldn't sit there and say, I ain't do that shit because it's on video. But, you know, he's also not the type of dude Bobby Knight's wasn't the type of guy to just be like, yeah, he's been provoking me for 2 weeks and now I just had enough of it. That's not him. He owned that shit. He's like, yeah, I shouldn't have choked him. However, and that's where he messed up. It should have been a period after I shouldn't have choked him. It shouldn't have been a comma. It kept talking. And so, like, yeah, I mean, all I'm saying though is like Jordan wasn't a coach, Jordan was a player. And there are just certain things, I don't care if you're the star player, there's certain things you can't do or shouldn't be able to do to other people. And I learned a lot from The Last Dance. I learned how much more of an asshole he was. And stuff like that. So like, look, man, people gonna sit here and say Jordan's the greatest player God ever created, and that's fine. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on the man as far as his basketball prowess. All I'm gonna say is, if he think he looks better as a person from that, he's got different color glasses on. Because I don't see it.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
But I wanted to ask you a question. I found it interesting that I would have never pegged you for a Bob Knight fan because Bobby Knight and Michael Jordan are the same thing with different jobs. They're the same person. Because you said, and it's really interesting, even more interesting that when you said he was passionate. And I'm listening to you describe your definition of passion, and I'm like, Howard Jordan and Knight different?
No,
in my mind, they're not different, except for one person's a coach and one person's a player. Or is that why you're saying this? Well, I don't think a player should be talking to other players the way he did.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Like, you shouldn't be talking like, how crazy would it be if one day I started talking craziness to you? Like the shit that he was talking to his players, his teammates, man. I would say the wrong thing. You would punch me in my face.
No, that's not true.
Well, I mean, I would say like, if I really wanted to get under your skin, I would say some fucked up shit. Not true shit, but just fucked up shit. And that's not fair. And that's the thing about it. Like, he was saying shit that's like, bruh, like, you're crossing lines here. Like,
what did he say?
Well, I mean, you know, basically he was talking like, you just can't talk the shit to everybody because everybody's not built that way. And I guess that's my thing. Like, I might be able to sit here and say something to you, but I can't say the same thing I say to you, say Tico, because I know Tico will punch me in the face. Like,
well, that make you that right there make you a bitch for real.
No, that
because if you can say it to me, but you know you shouldn't say it to him, but it's fucked up to start with, then guess what, man?
I mean,
you a bitch.
I mean,
you got to have the nerve. Like, look, man, you got to have the nerve to say the same thing to Tico that you say to me.
You call it being a bitch. I call it self-preservation.
You know what?
I mean, because two people, you can say the same thing to two people, but those people's their reaction might be very different.
Man, if you have to edit, then you probably shouldn't say it to start with.
Exactly. And
because Jordan never edited because he never like edited himself at all. Now, when somebody responded to him, it's like because like when Kerr responded to him, he got punched in the face, and it was just like, bruh, really?
Yeah.
And then Phil Jackson kicks him out of practice, and he gives him a call the next day. So look, man, I'm sorry. Number one, a bully's not going to say sorry. That's number one, especially that bully. Man, but I mean, look, man, and it goes right back to what you said about Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight is not in the habit of choking players. He did that time, but he's not in the habit of doing that. But he's Bobby Knight. He was older. He's not used to the players that he's coaching in the 80s and 90s. And I mean, not the 80s, but in the 90s and 2000s. He's not used to that.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. It'd be different. Like, and I'm going to say it because Lord knows I've said it before, and people may not like what I'm about to say, but it's just realism. Yo, man, that dude rode the bench. He was goddamn walk on. Like, what? Like, and that's the thing, right? Because I was just like, bro, you don't ever get time in this game. He's like, what did you have to do to make him put his hands on you? Because you're not even important to him. You're just number 12.
I don't believe that to be true.
I mean,
I really don't believe what you just said is actually true.
The dude didn't play.
I understand.
And stuff like that. So I'm like that's all I'm saying is, if I put my hands on you, you have got me to a point where I don't care who you are. It's red. Like, it's over at that moment. Like, if I got to put my hands on you, like, that's where I'm at. What did you have to do for Bobby Knight to put your hands on you?
I don't know, but...
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and Bobby Knight damn near lost his career. I mean, he pretty much lost his career with it because of that. And
is that when he had to go to Texas Tech?
Well, yeah, Texas Tech's the only people who hire him. And all I'm saying is, because he really wanted to coach, I think it was an isolated incident. And also, I think that player 100% perpetrated the whole thing. And that's the problem that I had with it, because I get it. He got choked, but I didn't necessarily believe he was a victim.
Okay, that's fair, but it's still no different than, look, man, the only thing I'm saying is this. I realize how you feel about Jordan not trying to change it, but it is very ironic almost. Actually, it is ironic. It's ironic that you pick as polarizing of a personality that has been caught doing some very terrible things in public because he lost it, but somehow you split the two.
Well, and I guess the other reason is because, Bobby Knight was in a position of power. And Jordan, when you're in a position of power, you can be a bully. Don't get it twisted. And I would probably say that, yeah, there are probably some people on some of his teams that he pretty much was like, you ain't shit. Like, and that's being honest. He probably said that to their face. Look, man, you on this team because I allow it. But you ain't shit. You ain't never get in the game. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Bobby Knight probably said that to at least 5 people who played with him. But the thing about that is, like, once again, I don't dismiss the fact of the power dynamic. But apparently Jordan felt like he had power when he really didn't. Like, he wasn't the coach of nobody. And he felt like he can just go out and say what the fuck he want to people. And some of them pushed back and some of them did not. And, my thing is, I don't think it's right either way. But I guess for me, part of it, I'm not a Jordan hater anymore. I used to be.
You just said you were. Well, no, you
No,
didn't say that you were a
no,
hater,
no.
but you
No, I
said
used to be a
everything
Jordan hater.
except that.
I used to be a really big Jordan hater. I used to be.
Okay.
Because I thought he was a ball hawk completely.
Oh,
Like,
he's a two guard, kind of like that. And
yeah,
the nature of the teams that he played on up until 89, 90. I mean, he, I get it.
yeah. In the 90s, I thought he was just so much of a ball hawk, and I wasn't that big of a fan of his. And like, but I mean, beside the point, you know, he just looked like he was a dick. Every time you looked at him, it just he had a air of I'm better than you. And
Because
like,
he was.
and well, hold on. And I understand that. But you can have an air that I'm better than you, but you don't have to act like it. Because they're like most of these players in basketball are better than me. But they don't necessarily act like it. I didn't see any humble in him at all. And that's kind of how I felt about it. So yes, every finals, I was hoping that motherfucker would lose. The fact that he's 6-0 in the finals does nothing but boil my fucking blood. And I can't do shit about it. And nobody can do shit about it. The only thing I can bring up is when he was with the Washington Wizards. And that was a travesty for the Wizards. Because
Why?
he was terrible.
He wasn't terrible. He was a 40-year-old man playing every night, averaging 20.
Whatever.
Why is it whatever?
I mean, to me,
you said he was trash, and I'm telling you that is literally not true.
To me, it was his comeuppance. He deserved that losing season. He deserved being on a team that was shit, like, because he thought he could do it all. I'm gonna be an owner of this team, and I'm gonna play. Bitch, please, like, whatever. And that's, hey man. Once again, I used to be a dedicated Jordan hater.
I can tell. Because, I mean, you're not being truthful.
I used to be a dedicated Jordan hater. That's all I'm saying. I'm not as much anymore. I've kind of grown past it. So, yeah. That's all. But I have to be truthful and state that I was a dedicated Jordan hater.
Okay.
So.
All thing I'm saying is I find it very interesting. And you're not the only one. Human beings do this all the time.
Yeah.
It just depends on what bully they want to root for. Because you shower a lot of grace on Bobby Knight.
But he was a dick.
I mean, again, you can say that now, but I mean, no one's listening to that part from you. Nah. Nobody, because of how you led. Because you led with, and guy's kind of a victim. He's not a victim. I mean, he threw the chair, but I'm just saying. With Jordan, fuck him. Which is fine. It's like I said before, the interesting part to me is how you can split that atom.
We are flawed people, sir. We are flawed people.
Says human beings when they don't want to be wrong.
No, I mean, look, man. Hey, look, I know I'm wrong 40% of the day.
40%?
So,
I'm wrong like 80% of the day.
I mean, that's cool for you. I mean,
so that makes you better than me. So now
I never said that.
So does that mean that you, sir, are you Black Jesus now?
Oh God, no. First of all, I don't think I'm better than any damn body. Like,
why not? There are certain parts of your life that you do better than other people.
No, you're right. But that don't for me, that doesn't make me feel like I'm better than anybody.
In that part, you are.
No, that just makes me feel that I'm very confident in that part of my life. And like, I at work, hey, I'm very confident I can train you to do this. Like in certain things, yes, my confidence is 150,000 on certain things. But everybody should be, because I feel like everybody can do certain things good. Like when you talked about the Hardee's biscuits that you make at home now. Like, bruh, when you make your biscuits, you're like, these gonna be the shit today. They're gonna be better than every day. And it's just like, I look at biscuits, I'm like, how do I open up the box,
The The box.
or the can or whatever it is. You talking about doing that shit from scratch, and I'm just like, bruh, teach me.
And I'm telling you right now, I mean, look, man, there are parts of my life that I don't achieve. There are other parts of my life that I judge the shit out of people.
Oh yeah,
because
same.
I'm like,
but everybody's like that,
right? And that's what I said. Why are you? That's what I just finished saying, and you tried to explain it away. No, there are times during the day where you're better than everybody else.
Oh, most definitely.
And for 48 minutes or a 90-minute practice, Jordan was the best player that was bouncing a basketball in the world. And he let you know every day. And it's like, if you weren't going to be on this team, this is what you're going to do. And actually, Phil Jackson let the shit happen most times.
And I blame him for saying that, yes.
And so it's like, okay, well, he was no different than with Kobe. It was the same thing. The only difference between Kobe and Jordan was Kobe only cheated on his wife once, and Kobe turned it off when practice was over.
Yeah, because Kobe was an
asshole. If this is how we're going to define it, Kobe was an asshole.
He was, because he was trying to be Jordan, but he was more than basketball.
He was not trying to be Jordan, because you can't try to be who Jordan was. Either you have it in you, or you don't.
He wanted to be like Jordan, and there's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
I mean, but the difference is, I think this is just my opinion between the two. I think the difference is Kobe realized that he had more to offer other than basketball. I don't know when that happened for him, like when he discovered that, but when he discovered that, and it might have been the birth of his kids, but when he discovered that he could do more than just basketball, he became a different person. And, and for some people are defined by what they do totally. Whereas Kobe Bryant was to a point, and then when he retired, he became known for other shit, being a great ambassador, making movies. Like, he won an Emmy, for one of his short films, and just like stuff like that. He became what's the name of the crap? Evolution hit him, and he decided he could do other things. He realized he could do other things, because I think really what happened to him is when he had his injury, that really just was like, shit, I can't play basketball forever. What else can I do? I met a lot of people. I got contacts. I've learned a lot of things because of this game. What can I do after it? And see, I think what happened with him was, and I don't think that happened to Jordan. I think, after he got caught, and then he realized that this shit ain't the move.
He got caught doing what?
Cheating on his wife. When that happened, with the white girl.
I mean, but that didn't stop him from. I mean, what did that stop him from doing?
No. I think I think at that point in time, he probably felt like he could have lost everything, and he didn't. And he decided to change everything he was doing. And he became more of a family man, became a better husband, they say. He started investing in himself and his family, along with winning basketball. And then when he had the Achilles injury, I think that helped them. Okay, I can't play basketball forever.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you were talking about Jordan in the middle of that. You're always talking about Kobe with that, then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, I guess what the comparison to me was, I don't think that ever happened to Jordan to the point where, what am I going to do after basketball? I don't think that happened to him. Hence, why he kind of disappeared for a while, and then he became co-owner of the Charlotte Hornets. 6, 7 years later? Because he went away after he retired, he was gone. He went on the news, he ain't talk to nobody, he ain't gonna interview no more. He was gone for a hot minute there. And then, he came back as an owner and that didn't work out very well for him. I mean, so like, yeah, I just don't think. I think that him and Kobe, what they went through, I don't want to call it midlife crisis because that's not right. I just think that when certain things happen in their life, they just went different ways with it. Because Kobe was a Jordan fan is too less of a word for him, but like he was really about being the next Michael Jordan, apostle. I think that's a word I'm looking for. And yo, man, the dude almost lost it all. And next thing you know, I mean, he just goes to work for 4 years. That's it. And next thing you know, he's back talking again. Sprite gave him a shot, and he wins a couple more championships. He has the Achilles injury, and next thing you know, he's diversifying his bonds, and he's doing other things other than basketball. He's, and I think something happens to a person in their life that makes them change, and and it really gives them a chance to determine what's important for them. Some people go through it, some people don't, and that's the hard part, right? Because like I'm pretty sure, I could say there's probably a moment in time or two where I completely shifted gears in my life. I could definitely speak on that. I think it was probably when I was depressed for like 3-4 years. And once I got out of depression, I realized, man, there's a whole bunch of shit out here going on. And then, I would probably say a lot of things in my life changed in a small period of time, especially around the time this podcast thing happened. My life shifted, just because, I had a different job and I found my voice to a point, or I found the ability to have a voice more or less. So like, I would probably say October 5.5 years ago, a whole bunch of things happened and my life mentally changed for me. And that's why, I kind of am what I am now, probably because of the last 5.5 years. Because honestly, there are times where I'm like, man, if you didn't have this podcast, where would you be? And I can't answer that.
You can't?
I cannot. No.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that is because just because I am really, everybody knows I'm pretty enveloped with the podcast to a point. I joke about it a lot, but I'm kind of there. I'm enveloped with it to a point, and it's a good part of my week, hanging out with you and Moby and just talking about whatever we talk about. So like, yeah, I'm a little enveloped in it. It makes me happy, and I like being happy.
Okay.
Even though we talk about some hard shit sometimes.
Like what? When does it get hard?
Well, every time we talk about hard shit or just current shit, just because right now our world is our world, but our country is kind of going through some things.
That is a very interesting way to put it. Euphemism comes to mind.
I do what I can.
We're going through some things.
And that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like having a platform to at least say it, maybe, even if it's not a lot, just a little, about how I feel about things, even though not many people hear it or nobody of any importance is going to hear it. Like, just the fact to get that off your chest, and you're not necessarily talking to yourself in the mirror, I probably should be in counseling of some sort.
It is
But
helpful.
But you know, this is a lot of counseling for me. So, except that, yeah.
But no one's going to really challenge you, though. This is a poor form of counseling. So.
But I think you and Mo B challenged me.
I'm not challenging you anymore. Mo B likes to challenge you because I think he likes it. It's fun for him.
Well, but I would say it may be fun for him, but there's a lot of time where he's not necessarily wrong. And like when you challenge me, there are times where you're not necessarily wrong. So it's like, I don't mind that. That doesn't, I would rather get a challenge than everybody just say, yeah, you're right, Ruben.
Okay.
Because when people sit here and say that you're right all the time, then you think that you're right all the time when you're wrong more times than you're right. Like the 40% number I put up, I mean, that's optimistic. I'm probably wrong more than that, but I'm an optimistic guy. You know? So, and there are some days where I'm right all the goddamn time, and there's some days I'm right most of the time. So I'm going to try to balance that out as fairly as I can, and I get 40%. Once again, that's probably way too high in the real life world, but you know, I strive.
You strive?
Hey man, I can't strive for 100, so I strive for 40.
Understood.
Sometimes hitting a goal is better than missing it, regardless of what your goal is. You know, if your goal is 5% and you hit 7 one day, awesome. But if you hit 1 day, it's like, what the fuck, man? That means you struck out like 8 times, bro. Like, what we doing? At least walk to base. So, yeah. A lot of baseball metaphors today. Wow. It's a good conversation about that.
It was.
It was.
You know who started it all? Jordan.
That'd be, yeah, fuck that guy.
I had to say it. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's fine.
I mean, it's true, but still, I had to give you one a little bit. Give you a little rib there.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, look, man. If you didn't learn from things that you didn't like, then you would never learn anything.
That's true.
So I could never play basketball like Jordan. I can still think he's a dick though, but what I can't say, he's not one of the greatest players ever.
As long as you have that balance, at least you're okay.
That's just disingenuous, and I used to be disingenuous.
Well, that's a flat out lie. It's like it's just a falsehood. It's
yeah.
Because I mean that means you're just telling me that you can't walk and chew gum. That's what you're telling me. You're an idiot. That's what you're telling me. But
yeah, and I can't do that anymore. Because
I'm glad you're out of. I'm glad you're not on the short bus anymore. Because you can dislike someone and say that they're. Because I tell my wife all the time. She said, I tell her it's just like you're so beautiful, and she's like, "Well, thank you." I said, "No, you don't understand. If I couldn't stand your ass, I still had to say you fine. Don't get it twisted. You know, there are people that don't like you, but they can't say that you ain't fine.
Yeah,
that's half the reason why your ears burning all the time because people can't stand your fine ass.
I mean,
just saying.
Hate is a generator of annoyance.
You're not wrong.
I like that statement, by the way. That shit just came up off the fly.
I think that might be the intro.
I can't believe I said it. Wow. See, I give myself more. I don't give myself enough credit. But man, what are two life lessons that you live by?
There is nothing greater than repetition. Even if you're a genius at something, it means nothing if you don't do it 10,000 times.
Okay.
And 10,000? Well, I mean, at least 500. I mean, because I remember things like at work in a factory setting. It's a very repetitious job. Now, some people can't stand it. It's just like it's not different. It's the same thing over and over. And I totally get that. For me, that doesn't bother me. In fact, I like it because I like to see my progress in a positive way, over, a day or a month or a year. But what I've learned from that is I used to think that I wasn't good at something because I couldn't get it right away. But what I have learned over time is no, because even geniuses have a tireless work ethic. Tireless, like any waking moment, they're either thinking about it or they're doing it, or they're thinking about it or they're doing it. And then they go to bed for 2 hours and they're thinking about it and doing it again. So it doesn't matter how many gifts God has given you, but you still need to turn those talents, as it were, into more talents by getting that work. You have to do things over and over. I think, and the things that I have focused on in my life that I am good at, like right away, is I am good at being married. I'm really good at being married. And a lot of people are like, how are you good at being married? Well, see, I already know you suck by that question already. I know she's about to fucking leave you right now by that question.
Yeah, if that's your comment after that, then
exactly. Because you have to know your partner. You have to understand what it takes to be where your partner is, because you can't, it's the same relationship you should have with God. You have to die of yourself. If you come into a relationship thinking about you, and doing things how you want things done and all the things, you're a failure. You're a failure already. You just don't have divorce papers to prove that you're a failure. Your 20-year marriage is a sham because you're living a fucking lie. You're awful at being married. It's just your spouse has a lot of grace, or they might be Catholic, or they just don't believe in divorce. Whatever it is, it doesn't mean that you're good at your job. So, for me, again, going back to the repetition thing, it's like understanding that you want to do this particular job, and then understanding there's work involved, and then understanding that it's hard work. And when I say hard work, I mean dying of yourself is hard work. Now, I enjoy my work, so I never work a day in my life. However, there are times where it's like, I can't say that. Or I'm not going to see it my way. I'm going to see it her way, and this is the way we're doing it, even though it might make me a little uncomfortable. Or I'm going to have to go without this or that and the other because that's just not in her. And it's okay. All the things. So again, repetition, doing things over and over again, all of that, it matters. So, and it took me a long time. Like I said, it took me a really long time. I used to think I was horrible at everything because I couldn't get it all in one day. I forgot that you have to do this over and over again. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, kind of piggybacking on this a little bit, is if you overall in your entire life, if you want a certain life, you have to give that life away. If you want somebody to treat you a certain way, you have to treat that person the same way, unadulterated. If you want something, you have to give it away. You have to. You can't be a selfish person and get things done. You can't say, well, I want this and I want that and I want this. And then as soon as it's your turn to give, all of a sudden you bankrupt or you broke or you don't have time or you whatever it is. But you out here asking for things. And I think when we're on this show, especially, or when we're around men that we trust, we talk about these Instagram women. And it's just like what we're actually saying, which is a real problem for men in particular. What we're actually saying is, I give you all of these things and you're required to not give me anything. And it's just like, wow. And these women wonder why they can't get a man or keep a man. Or they man out there banging some other chick that looks half as good as they do, but she cooked an apple pie for him. Why? Because he said he liked it. And that's all it took. That's all it took. Yeah. It doesn't mean that she's any better than who he's with. But in that moment that she decided to cook that pie or bake that pie, she was absolutely better than his wife was. And he absolutely lost everything over an apple pie. And everybody's laughing at him and this and that and the other. And I'm sitting back there going, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But some woman was too lazy and too selfish to bake a pie. But she asked him to make $100,000, buy her a house, buy her a car, make her life easy, or take her out of the workforce altogether, not have kids, all the things. He did all of those things and you couldn't bake him a pie. Okay. That's why he's boning the fat chick next door. cockeyed and all. And you're like, what did she do that I didn't do? She made the pie. The pie was good. The pie is virtual, metaphoric, and actual, but you were too lazy to do it. So again, if you want that treatment, you will eventually get it if you give it away first. If you don't trust anybody, you don't want to give anything away, you want to hurt them before they hurt you, you will always be bankrupt. You will always complain about what's not being done for you. You will never be rich in this life. But if you choose to do things for others for the sake of doing the right thing, you would be amazed at the things that will come your way. Unbeknownst to you, you'd be living your life and all of a sudden, boom. Then that includes your interpersonal relationships. That includes your spouse. So those two things are a big deal to me. Don't get them right, your life will suck. I promise you it will.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So before I go over mine, our boy Chris chimed in on the Facebook. You know, he was like, what are 2 life lessons that you live by? 1, leave the day better than you found it. That's a good one. And number 2, if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving isn't for you.
That was good. That was good.
So, yeah, shout out to Chris out there, long time listener. Appreciate you, bro. For me, it's super simple. Like, my first thing, that I live by, I swear every day, yo, man, be positive. I am probably, of all the people I know in my life, maybe 3 other people that I know may be more positive than me. And I feel that way because it's just a waste of time not being negative. It's a whole waste of time because in my opinion is, if you're too busy thinking of all the negative shit that's going on, then you're just surrounding yourself with a whole bunch of self-doubt and a whole bunch of not positive shit. I know it sounds whatever, but it's like, like I said earlier, man, I've been depressed. Like I've been low, and it's like being low, it sucks. Like, I'm happy. I am one of those people who, I ain't gonna front, man. I get up in the morning. Once I actually wake up, I'm fairly happy to be up. It's just, I'm just super positive because I've had shitty days, man. Everybody's had shitty days, but I can honestly say I've had more positive days than shitty days. And, and that's just how I look at things. Like, I hate snow with a passion. Like I've said it. Like, I fucking hate it. But to be in a position where I can sit here and hate snow, yet see the joy of children playing in it and having a good time, yo, man, that's a balance that I can't buy in life. Just because I don't necessarily like it, I can understand how other people like it, and I can appreciate that. So, number 1, being positive. Number 2, bruh, be nice. Am I the nicest person in the world? Hell no. But my day's better when I'm nice. Trust me.
You act like it's pulling teeth, but sometimes you get it done. Come on, man. You are not mean. You are not mean.
But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. It's not something, I don't feel like it's something that can be turned on and off. It's either on or it's not.
Right.
And you just have to work on, like what you said, you got to work at it. And being nice, if you're leading with something else, then we already fucked up. Like, what are we doing? Like, truly, what are we doing? If we're not nice already, that means just walking around being an asshole.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I will say this. I will give it that part some perspective because hurt people hurt people.
Correct.
There is no more truer maxim in the world.
But here's the thing, right? Everybody's been hurt.
Sure.
But it's a choice to continue to hurt other people.
Absolutely. I agree. I could not agree more.
Like some people wake up with violence.
Yeah, you're right.
And look, man, I'm not gonna sit here and say I ain't never woke up and I chose violence. But I can say more often than not, I woke up and I didn't choose it. And I think that there's something for that because, man, I go to my foot doctor every week. Every freaking Wednesday. He changes the badge on my foot. The shit goes from a quarter to a little bit over a quarter. I mean, the healing is slow. It's annoying as F, and it's cost me a shit ton of money. But I walk in there, I speak to everybody there, and when I leave, I speak to everybody when I leave. And it's just because when it's all said and done, working in the public realm, man, some people are just having bad days. And like I've said before, man, people like to throw out stress like Oprah like to give away cars. And it's just like, here's a car for you. Here's some stress for you. Yo, I've worked with people like that, and the force field's up. That shit's bouncing off me. I ain't got time for that bullshit. And it's just like, I got enough stress in my life that I don't need yours. And the way to combat that is, if it comes to you, knock that shit out, put up a smile, say something nice, and move on. I leave the doctor's office. Y'all have a nice day. Everybody say, you too. It's like, I'm not out here trying to be the motherfucking green giant dude who's nice to everybody. But I'm just like, look, I'm a big guy about karma. Positive karma makes your life better. And if that means, I ain't getting cats out the tree, but I'll hold the door. You know what I'm saying?
You mean you wouldn't climb a tree to get the cat, man?
Fuck no. I wouldn't climb a tree for nothing. I must be being chased by some shit for me to climb a tree. So I can fall and bust my ass. I ain't got time for that. But still, man, it's just like, yo, man, what do they say? It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I used to hate when people said that to me, but they're still right. It does.
But imagine, I'm not saying everybody's nice, because everybody's not nice. But if we had at least a week where everybody doesn't fucking choose violence, like, shit may actually happen positively in this world, man. And that's just, honestly, I can't even give myself credit for that, man. That's some Ruben J. and Shirley stuff right there. It's just like, treat others how you would have them treat you.
Yeah.
I treat you nice. You treat me like an asshole. That's on you, bro. Like, I ain't got time for that. And yes, I'm vindictive sometimes. You speed past me. I'm like, cool. I get to go ahead and find that cop in front of me. That way I can speed past you, looking at you. Thank you. And just keep going. Yes. Am I that guy sometimes? I am. But for the most part, I'm a nice person. And being nice, what they say, nice guys finish last.
Yeah, they can.
But a whole lot of nice guys live longer too. Because they don't do dumb shit. So like, yeah. I challenge that with that. And right now, I'm doing okay. So those are two things I live by, man. People are just like, oh, you're a square or whatever. That's cool. But I ain't living with my mama. You know what I'm saying?
So you're not a scrub?
Shit. First of all, TLC, there are a whole bunch of scrubs out here that are not doing what you doing, what you talking about. And that's just crazy.
Hey, man, they make the rules, sir. They make the rules. I was a scrub for a long time. And I'm still a scrub. I don't make enough money now. But
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to forever be a scrub. And that's okay.
I think we all are to some degree.
You know, when people ask me, "Are you married?" No. Why not? I mean, why not? Because nobody wants to fucking marry me. I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Why not? Like, you know, you ask a woman, "How come you're not married?" "Oh, you a bitch?" No, no, because she hasn't found anybody who wants to marry her ass. Like, but those are personal choices. Like,
How is that a personal choice because no one chose you?
everybody's got to be chosen, man. It doesn't matter who you are. You got to be chosen.
You just said it was a personal choice.
Well, I mean, honestly, it kind of is to a point because here's the thing. Like, and I can say this because unfortunately I am a personal choice. Like, I'm not married because I haven't done the work. You know, like you did the work. Mo B did the work. My parents did the work. Like everybody out here we know who's married, somebody did some work.
Yes.
Right now, I ain't done no work. I tried to do some work. The shit didn't work out.
You wait a minute. You tried to do some.
I tried to build a house. I built a shed, and the shit fell. Like, it's okay. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's one of those things. Do I want to be married? Look, man, who doesn't want to be married to this? Like, of course I want to be married. I want to give all this love to somebody, you know. But when it's all said and done, unless it appears on my doorstep or I trip and fall into the shit, I got to do some work. And then if I trip and fall into it, I still got to do some work. So it's like, hey, man.
Are you telling me you're just not going to do the work? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying right now, I haven't done the work. It's not saying I'm not going to do the work. I just haven't. I haven't done the work. And it's 100% my fault. And I own it. I own it till I can't own it no more. And that's okay. Because when it's all said and done, I can't blame anybody else for me being single than me.
Okay.
And I'm not wasting a shit ton of money going out a whole bunch of dates of women I don't want to be on dates with. Like, I know that sounds real fucked up, but it's like,
I mean, it is an interesting take. That's for sure.
I mean, you know, maybe I'm trying to skip the line one day and just find the one right then. Boom.
I have a feeling that you will probably fall into it. It'll be fine.
You know, if I fall into it, I don't mind being caught.
Somebody will catch it.
Or they'll just drop my ass. I mean, one of the two. It's gonna happen.
Wait. Weren't you the guy that his first item is being positive?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna positively fall. And I might positively hit the ground.
Okay,
but
the headache is starting already. The headache is starting.
But I'm gonna positively get back up. Because that's what I do.
Anything you say, sir.
Nah, but yeah, once I do the work, it'll be all right. But nah, my thing is, if you can't be nice and you can't be positive, then what we doing? That's just my opinion on it. Like, because I mean, I could train people how to sell anything, but if you're not a nice person and you don't feel positive enough that you can do it, I mean, I ain't trying to start it. I'm already starting at a disadvantage. I'm not trying to start from infinity may not go happen. Like, come on, give me a shot. Fuck. So yeah, and that's the way. And I'm confident in my abilities, but I also understand that, hey man, if a volcano's hot, maybe I shouldn't go jump in it. Just saying.
No truer words.
So, you know, that being said, you know what, man? I think we've talked enough tonight. We will go ahead and speed this thing out. So I'd like to thank AG for being on the show with me. I'd like to thank everybody who listened and who listened to us on the podcast. Remember, check us out, 5minutewarning.com. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, just tell somebody else about us. We do this every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, usually not CPT time, definitely Eastern Standard Time. And we'll get out here when we get out of here. Shout out to Mo B. He is under the weather today. We hope to have him back next week. You know, prayers and all that beautiful stuff to him. Feel better, bro. But other than that, hey man, It's another Sunday. We got the job done, and we're gonna do it again next week for you. Definitely. If you missed us, check us out on the podcast and things of that such. So, with that being said, we out this piece. So, as we always do, love, peace. Wait, that's not right. That shit didn't come out right.
Peace, love.
That's right. I was about to say it. I'm sorry. I messed up. Yeah. It's 260 episodes, man. I'm allowed to mess up at least once every 100. Peace, love, hair grease, soul, and deuces.
Email us at 5minutewarning19@gmail.com. And also leave comments on Facebook and Twitch. Search 5 Minute Warning. Contact us on Twitter at AG_FMW podcast, at Nugman25, at FMW 2019. Contact us on Instagram, Moby 5 Minute Warning, AG_5 Minute Warning, Nugman25. You can listen to the podcast at Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of
The 5 Minute Warning.